does an orthodox demonologist mean?
You know, the people of the left-hand path, almost, they talk about Lucifer, then Satan, the devil, but not. There's no hierarchy in the world of demons. All demons are equal. You know, I practice almost every day magic, and it's not, the people now think about magic and maybe it's afraid. No, it's not afraid, because the demons are the true friends of humanity. Of course, I can't prove you nothing, but through my experience, I see a lot of good things in me. And the demons speak to me many times. I can tell you a lot of names of demons that I talk every day.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if it's correct to do it in the camera, because the people think, hey, he's a grace, called to put it in the sanatorium.
No, but I think that there should be room to talk about these things openly, and I think that that's actually one of the purposes of Iblis Manifestations, and it is called Iblis Manifestations.
That your fans are not Christians.
But even if they are, I welcome them, because if anything, I think that the Christians are actually more open-minded to these things than, let's say, just the day-to-day atheists.
This is my motto: metal, magic, freedom.
Right. And what does that mean?
That I'm a metal fan all my life, and metal is very connected with the magic, but it's a music for freedom. For example, I don't mean it with any, don't take it wrong, but look, in the countries with like Muslims, metal is forbidden. Why? Metal is for free people with open-minded, because it's okay if I come out and say fuck off politicians, say oh you are great, but if I said fuck off your Christ and your God, say oh you are crazy, you are not good. So
yeah, but at least you would get away with it. If you said that in a Muslim country, you could get into serious trouble for it.
Exactly.
Of course,
so,
I'm speaking from experience.
So metal is a music for free people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, I think that's the reason why I asked you about the slogan, actually. I wanted to talk to you about that. I know that's something that you've always said.
You know, once upon a time I said non serviam. But to be honest, now I'm 54. I think that all of us, we have to serve something. Even our family, even our kids. But it's not good. Non serviam, it's about, okay. But it's different non serviam, it's different freedom. Freedom is try to be a free man and to respect all the mother nature, okay? I'm not so much, maybe sometimes I'm a misanthropic guy, because I see the average of the people try to destroy each other.
So, I'm very fascinated by your take on the concept of freedom, really, because, you could say that freedom is just being able to do whatever the hell it is that you want to do from even like a cosmology or cosmic perspective, like even the idea of cosmic Satanism. But I'm intrigued by your approach, and this is actually something that I've noticed a lot about the Hellenic Black Metal scene, is that even though it's of that left-hand path, there is an element of respect, loyalty.
Exactly.
Honor.
It was my next word, that if you don't respect the freedom of the other, you are not a free man.
And I suppose with that said, so what we're talking about here, and correct me if I'm misunderstanding this, but we're talking about freedom, but in the context of accepting consequences and responsibilities.
Exactly. It's like near same thing that Aleister Crowley said once upon a time, if you remember.
Sure, and could you remind us exactly, because he said a lot of things.
Love is the law. Love under will.
That's right.
And every man and every woman is a star.
That's right. Yes, he did say that. By the way, Jim Mutilator, it's a great pleasure to have you on Iblis Manifestations Podcast, man. It's really good to have you on.
My pleasure is mine.
Absolutely. I think that was a pretty good fucking introduction to the episode. This is going to be a good one. How did you find the show, man? That was a great performance you guys just put on in London.
Like Yoth Iria was my first time in London, and the crowd was amazing.
That was your first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are a young band, okay, don't forget.
For sure. But did you ever come before with any of the other projects you were part of?
No.
Right, okay, so it only took you, 40 years?
I was in London for other, business, but not for music. Like musician, I was in the island only for a show with Kavir in Scotland, Glasgow, I think.
Right.
Yeah, a few years before.
Good guys. I just met the Career guys in Berlin about 2 weeks ago. We were playing with them.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Amazing band also. Their new stuff sounds great.
And great friends, of course. Okay.
Of course. I've always been really fascinated with the Hellenic scene, and I always feel like it has such an important mark on not just even black metal, because it's mainly known as black metal, but I just feel like the metal culture as a whole. The fact that Greece, of all of the countries, perhaps alongside Norway, was the one that during the second wave really had that black metal element to it. Where do you think that comes from?
You are very right. I think that Hellenic Black Metal has its total distinctive sound. It happened due to sunny weather, due to the ancient civilization, due every piece of Greek land is full of ancient wisdom. I don't know. Of course, don't forget that also the Greek civilization destroyed by Christians, Romans and Byzantine Empire. But for sure, into our subconscious we have this influence. So why we do black metal as well? I think we are different people, so we do different music. But I think that you are very right. Actually, the Greek black metal, it's not black metal with a meaning, with a musical meaning. It's totally different from the Norwegian, Scandinavian black metal. We are very close to heavy metal music, I think, with melodies, with harmonies, with, let's say, warm sound. Of course, I have fucking big respect for Scandinavian black metal.
Of course.
I worship.
Yeah.
But due to the sound, we have really a unique sound, and it's not only Rotting Christ. Of course, like Rotting Christ, we are the first to make this sound. Our influences were, of course, from heavy metal, traditional heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal, from first wave of black metal like Celtic Frost, Bathory, Venom.
That's what you kind of played with. Was it Black Church, your very first band?
Look, Black Church was like a name. Me and Sakis, just we had the idea to make a band under the name Black Church. We make a track. Of course, we didn't record it. It was a totally stupid track, like, let's say, for the first time, Black Church, no. Totally stupid track, okay? Then in '87 we turned it to Rotting Christ. And of course, everyone knows that the first release of Rotting Christ was 2 demos of totally noise music.
That's right.
It was actually '89 that we totally changed our sound to our influences. So we started our career, let's say, in black metal with Satanas Te Deum. A legendary demo for me in '89 that influenced, and still maybe you can say it, that influenced a lot of bands all over the world. But I can continue it. The other band also, after Rotting Christ, even they follow they followed Rotting Christ path. They put their own sound, their own ideas. So they got Hellenic Black Metal and they went further. So we have a totally brilliant Hellenic Black Metal sound. And of course, it's not only Rotting Christ. Let's say Necromantia did something very, very different than Rotting Christ, okay?
That's right, with the two bass.
With the two bass, yeah. With some great musicians like the Mangus. It was also an honor for me, the Mangus, to work with me for the first Yoth Iria releases.
I was very excited when I saw that you guys were doing that collaboration, you know, and his voice seemed to lend itself really well to the Yoth Iria stuff.
Yes, history done.
Yeah, that's right,
Anyway, then was Varathron, another band I formed back in '89 with Stefan and Necroambitious and Spiros Captain Death. Also Varathron is a big name for Hellenic Black Metal.
Of course.
But a lot of bands after the Unholy Trinity, Rotting Christ, Necromantia, Varathron, put their own ideas in our music. We have tons of great bands from Greece, like Kawir.
That's right.
Like Zemial, Agathos, Medieval Demon. So many bands.
Dead Congregation?
Dead Congregation, okay.
A little bit later,
in
but
a death metal sound more.
Yeah.
I speak more about black metal oriented band. Of
Sure.
Dead Congregation, great friends and fantastic band.
Gotcha.
And so I think that Hellenic Black Metal, in my own view, it's in the same level with Scandinavian Black Metal, in my own view. Maybe Norwegian Black Metal is a lot more famous due to all these episodes happened back in 90s, okay? Murders, crimes, etc.
So do you think if that hadn't happened, then perhaps they would be at more of an equal position, at least as far as the general landscape is concerned, or?
Nobody knows. I think they deserve it, because for me, Euronymous is an idol, okay? I was very sad because I was in contact for him for many years, and I think he was a great musician that had to offer a lot more to our music. But still, the Burzum album was fantastic. Also, Christian was a great friend of me and very respectful. And you know, it's not about death, man, okay? Because one day we shall die. I mean about Euronymous, okay? Christian, the guy from Burzum, killed him, and Euronymous is a legend in history forever. But I'm thinking sometimes, what more Euronymous will offer to our music. I have from 80s a lot of letters from him. I have some of them printed in my Facebook. And this guy in late 80s had some great ideas about music. He was really a lot of years in front of us. And of course, Euronymous gave us, like Rotting Christ, a big support and a big help. Don't forget, maybe most of the people know, it was the first album of Rotting Christ was signed to be under Deathlike Silence. And of course, it was to release first split LP Rotting Christ with Burzum. But due to the known events, never happened. But let's continue. I think that of course Scandinavian Black Metal has offered us tons of amazing albums, like the albums of Darkthron, Burzum, Mayhem, Enslaved, Satirico, Nemesis Divina. For me, it's an opus nocturne. And of course, don't forget, let's go to Sweden, and maybe for me one of the best bands in the world. I mean, Dissection. Of course, we have Bathory, that Bathory influenced all of us. I think that Under the Sign of the Black Mark has influenced all the albums of Scandinavian black metal in some ways.
Absolutely.
But to finish with this, I think that Hellenic black metal is in the same level with Scandinavian black metal.
I think so. Well, I think that what it is that, you know, I mean, if you want to look at the grand map of the world, you know, like, with all of these pieces of music popping out from nowhere, basically. I mean, in Switzerland, you had Hellhammer, and then later Celtic Frost, of course, and that was totally unique. There was nothing like that at that time, you know. Same with Greece, when you guys were coming out with Rotting Christ first to begin with. There wasn't much else at that time. Then, of course, Varathron and Necromantia, and then you kind of had that Hellenic scene at that time, you know, and Thou Art Lord, of course, in the early 90s. But then, even when you look at Brazil, for example, I think what makes it special in metal in particular is the fact that you've got these really sort of authentic explosions of this music that just pops kind of out of nowhere, but with like a local twist on it. And I think what also makes the Hellenic scene in particular quite special, at least from my perspective as someone who actually comes from an extremely primitive and tech-limited background when it comes to music, at least initially speaking, is that part of what defined the sound was even rather the lack of access that you had to certain technologies to record and execute those songs. And I think that's kind of what makes it interesting. One of my favorite sayings of all time is that art is the result of the compromise between imagination and reality.
You are very, very right. And of course, to make it clear, it's not only, of course, Greece and Scandinavia. We have to give respect to a lot more countries. Let's say Masters Haven for Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, yeah.
You told about Brazil. I totally worship sarcophago.
Who couldn't, right? Yeah.
Okay. So it's not only, of course, Greece and Scandinavia, but we spoke it like general scenes, okay? Like Scandinavia against Greek, make it fun, of course, not any real fight, okay.
Of course, yeah. I think it's more about that, you know, the Hellenic scene it deserves its own due, you know. It's not about saying, oh, one's better than the other, because I think when it comes to art, saying something is better than another thing, you know, it's a subjective thing, so that's almost like taking away from the magic of it anyway. I think the value of it is simply the fact that there is that authentic expression which exists in what these young guys in this country, who were the only ones of their ilk at that time, were coming up with this music, you know, and now they get to share it with the world. I think that's really the part that makes it special.
This is a good point to talk a little about it, that think about it, Greece was, let's say, in the south of Europe, totally isolated. We never had the technology like the central and north of Europe, and it happened to us like a miracle, okay? I was about 14 years old, that, let's say, I felt the calling for black metal. I said, let's say, fuck off to religions, fuck off to their beliefs. I like, let's say, I like demons, I like extreme music, and I sent to garbages all of the reality in Greek society of mid-80s. Of course, I have started listening to heavy metal music from late. I was 10 years old that I started listening to heavy metal music. But I was 14 years old that I felt the need, I don't know how it happened, for totally extreme music and totally extreme, let's say, ideas. You know, to be 14 years old and say, let's say, hail Satan, it's not so usual.
No. I relate to it, but yes, you're right. It's not usual at all. But I think that's kind of what's special about it is that, you know, using that tool as a way of expression is simply a way of also finding yourself and developing your own character. Because what I find is very interesting is that even though you rebelled against religion, even though you said fuck off to Christ and, you know, you did all of that at such a young age, but also for such a long period of time, I do think that it's interesting to me that yet here you are sitting, and when we were talking about like the demonology that you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, that morals are not absent here. I find that in particular to be quite interesting. So in a way you went and carved your own sort of morals and path of life. How does that resonate with you?
Yes, okay, it's very simple. I think that, let's say, in the left-hand path, there's no hierarchy. So for me, all the demons are in the same level. Demons don't serve nobody. And also Lucifer, Satan, devil, the most known spirits, knows about it. But of course the people call themselves Satanists, devil worshippers. Okay, it's okay, it's not the subject. But after having, I can, of course I'm not a magician, don't make it clear, okay? I don't speak like a preacher, like some young single man. But I'm totally concentrated in working with demons and follow all my life the left-hand path. In my opinion and after my experience, I felt the need to tell to the people that, let's say to be more understandable in the most of the people, in hell, of course I mean hell like an example, okay? There's no place for me with fires and such stupid things. In hell there's no hierarchy. There are free spirits that fight for freedom and they are ready to help the simple man.
So it's almost like a libertarian belief in spirituality. Am I deciphering that correctly?
I totally agree. This is my opinion. Of course, I can't, if you can't prove something, it's very difficult to talk about it, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Especially when we talk about spiritualism, occultism, etc. But my opinion, and a lot of people maybe that practice, let's say, with occultism, study, etc., maybe can understand my opinion, and of course everyone has the right to say he said bullshit, who cares? This is my opinion and I support my opinion, because if I don't support it, I'm not correct, I'm wrong. Okay, so...
Well, I think that when it comes to the subject of, should we say, the paranormal, for lack of a better word, even outside of the context of demonology, it's one of those things that you only really believe in it once you experience things, once you see and feel things that aren't really easy to explain, and whether someone else believes in that or not, it's not going to make an impact as to how you view it. At least that's my own personal perspective anyway.
You know, okay, it's not so easy to talk about these things, okay, because as I told before, it's very difficult to prove something, and of course you can't say to people, okay, come with me to teach you. Of course, I'm not a teacher, okay? I'm not able to teach myself. Anyway, For me it's clear. I practice my own occult path, and I have my own conclusion.
So what drives you to do that in the first place? What would be the purpose
I
of
told you that
engaging with that?
it started many years before. It was an attraction, okay, but I never was afraid of it. I know a lot of people, friends of me, that I'm talking about it, and they are not Christians, they don't believe in, let's say, saints, Christ, blah blah, and they're still afraid of demons. When I said to a very good friend, okay, try to this very simple thing and work with some demons. Demons, you know, it's a general work. It's from the ancient Greek word demon. Daimon, who is a very good work. It's about have a good life, to make your soul feel better, to make your body feel better. It's a very, very positive word. Of course, after religion, Christianity religion, and the other religion, because all the same shit are for me.
Well, I think the way I look at it,
edit with a bad thing. It's not. But when you speak to someone, even he is quite open-minded about working with demons, he's kind of afraid, no, I don't want, what is this?
But the thing is that there are genuinely evil spirits also, and I think that that's one thing about it, is that if you really want to look at this from the grand scale of things,
what do you mean evil spirits?
Well, spirits that mean to do harm to humanity and to humankind.
So I have to ask you, what is the good that offered to the planet for 1,000 years, Christ and the saints? Look the earth, how shit is. So who is the evil? The demons or the Christianic bullshit? I think
that's a fantastic question. And here's how I look at it personally. I think that
of course, if you want to believe to Christ, it's up to you, okay?
Sure.
But I think it's not the demons that fuck the world. It's the Christ, it's the Muslims,
sure.
It's all the shits.
Okay, yeah, I totally see that
it's
perspective.
All the, let's say, the good, what good you can find. So if the Christ is the good and the saints are the good, okay, let's come in the world and say, okay, we make a good world for all the people to have food, to have money, to have no fights, etc. So what's the problem with demons?
But I think that idea is not compatible with how nature works. Equality of outcome is not something that applies to how the laws of the matrix in our solar system or in our world is set out. And what I mean by that when I say it can be harmful is not to discourage it, because I think one thing that the Christians do is they kind of understand what's going on, but they too shelter. They're like, yoga is evil, doing weightlifting is evil, tantric shit is evil, it's all Satan trying to possess you.
Exactly.
I get that, but I think that also from the demon perspective, I think that you've got two approaches. You've got the one approach where you're spiritually entirely protected and sheltered, and you never get to grow, and it's almost like you're a slave, it's that you're exchanging your freedom for protection. And then on the other hand, there's the fact that you're free. It's like the wild, wild west. You're in the wasteland of spirituality. But what that also means is that you may encounter things that are incredibly harmful to the human existence. So that's more the perspective that I'm trying to draw.
I can say you two more things, okay?
Please.
And one thing is, if you work, let's say, with a demon, and he has a good offer to you, where's the evil? I don't mean, I can say it very, you can never use a demon to harm nobody. If you try to harm someone, you harm yourself. demons will not help you to make any harm to nobody.
So you're talking about karma there.
I don't know about karma, I don't believe in karma, but that's my opinion, okay?
No, but you're saying that if you wish evil on someone else, that reflects
let's say,
on you.
Here is, for example, your mobile, okay? And someone can call you from Japan. How it works? There is an energy that comes here, okay? We don't see the energy, we can't explain it.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a demon. It's evil or not evil. Maybe someone used the mobile to make some crimes. But maybe a lot of people have saved by the mobile phones in our days, okay? So, and just to make it a little more fun, I can say to Christian, this one, of course, I make some fun. Okay, let's say that demons, Satan, Lucifer, devil are the bad spirits. I ask them, who is the father of Satan, Lucifer and demons? It's the father of Christ. So they are kids of the same God, so someone has to love these also kids. So I love these kids.
That's a very interesting approach. I like that. So when you're saying that you're connecting with these demons, what is it that you're trying to get from it? What's your purpose?
I do it with simple forms like path workings, like nothing, the people sometimes think because they are influenced by Christians that you have to make blood rituals, that's bullshit. Of course, this is sick things, and the people that influence and do these things need a doctor, of course, okay?
So you don't believe in blood rituals and
things? Of course not.
But why not?
If you check the books, you see that in Christianic religion there are blood. Demons don't ask to sacrifice animals, don't need blood. All they need are to have passion, to be dedicated, and to be trustful.
I think so when I ask you why not, I don't mean that you should go and do blood rituals. What I mean is, in the context of spirituality and in the context of the metaphysical, things can get charged, okay? You can give way to something. You give value to something simply by looking at it, by your brainwaves and your attention to it. And that's how having, let's say, an idol or whether it's the image of Christ, it's almost like you create or feed an egregore by doing so. And one of the most effective ways to do that is sacrifice, because you have to give something that is of value. I think that even the flags of countries get charged by the sacrifice of the people who go and die for them. Now you can talk about how there are lines drawn on the map. I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying that there is perhaps a value to what you're giving. So maybe it's more down to what is your intention of connecting with those beings.
I don't agree with this, and I told you that demons are high-level energies. In fact, they need, of course, you must be patient. You don't work 1 day, 1 month, 2 months, and you have some specific things in your life. But if you continue, you will see a lot more good things happen to your life. So, what is the meaning? If you make yourself better and each person work for himself and like each man be better, so I think the whole environment around us will be a lot better. This is the meaning.
Couldn't agree more. Sure.
If some people think they are Satanists, devil worshippers, all that, and think that they have to make sacrifice, etc. They follow the propaganda of Christians, and maybe I think they need a doctor. let's say, I don't know.
I'm absolutely fascinated by your position because I like how you take this approach of you're super open-minded and even you're open about the fact that you are practical about your connection to the, let's call it the supernatural, for lack of a better term for anyone listening. But then also at the same time, I really like that you have this sort of rational perspective on things as well.
And must clear it also that I believe that demons are real, they are real in reality. Because I can say also this, we have talked with the Church of Satan in USA, and they told me about, of course, through conversation, not in reality, with mail, etc. Jim, do you believe that, let's say, Asmodeus is a real demon with face? No, it's ideas. And I was totally disappointed.
Yeah.
They try, have followers, get money from the people, and they told me that no, it's not reality, it's like ideography, etc. I totally, it's not for me. I'm sure, in my opinion, that Lucifer exists, Satan exists, devil exists, Asmodeus exists, Belphegor exists, blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, I'm on the same page as you. I am not an atheist, hence why we're having this conversation right now.
Okay, I don't know it. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Now you make it clear. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me personally, just for a bit of context as well, it was the case that...
For me, this is blasphemy to say that Satan is not real.
But I also think what's interesting is that it seems to me like, I don't know what you think of this, but to me, a lot of what seems to happen in our world, in our lifetime, in our experiences, always seems to be the manifestation of something that's somehow invisible that then gets channeled through. I mean, you think of the idea of creativity, right? Everything that we do, especially in music, that's a great example, you envision it first. You see it in your mind, you close your eyes and you can see it or you can hear it, and then you try and put it into existence. And I think that that's perhaps how demons also operate.
It's very good your question, but I have a different answer. But
sure.
Can answer the question. I think it's all about the fear.
It's all about the what, sorry?
About the fear. The worst thing in a man's mind is the fear. If you have fear and say, okay, I don't care if I die now, if they kill me for my beliefs, you will be a free man. You will be a Luciferian man, let's say, okay. Because for me, Lucifer, it's light, wisdom and freedom. And the same all the demons. So,
for context, this is something I have experienced, by the way, just from, I know exactly what you're talking about, playing underground shows in Iran, so, thinking we were going to get fucked up just for...
If you wake up one day and say, okay, fuck off, I'm not fearing nobody. You will see, you will be a totally different man. And so for me, practicing with occultism have, let's say, make me a more brave man. I change my mind in a lot of situations because I watched a lot of people that are sad because I don't know if I will be sick and I will die. I don't know if I will have a job and I have money. Okay?
Yeah.
If you don't, you may die tomorrow, so what? One day we will die. Even now we are not immortals, okay? But through the demons maybe we can be immortals, who knows?
No, but I understand what you're saying, and I think that they always say that the root cause of fear is not knowing the unknown. And I think that perhaps what I'm understanding from what you're saying is that by practicing occult, you've gone to unknown realms which would have been frowned upon, which would have been stigmatized, yet you've gone there, and in the process of that, by going to unknown realms, you've actually become more of a free person, right?
You are right. Very right. And I recommend to people who may just watch this to start change their reality. And this reality maybe is a matrix that we live, most of us here. Okay, maybe all the humanity is a matrix from, let's say, from elite just to serve them. Okay, so the best weapon of someone to make another to follow him and serve him is the fear. If I fear you, you can make me like a servant. Am I right?
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, that's how it works. You know, that's how fear works in society. It's the best method of control. You know, that's why you have the media. You know, they're not there to report news to you. They're there to make you afraid, so you become easier to control, and so you buy into the hasty solutions that they try and sell you in return. I think we saw a pretty good example of that just in the last 4 years. But it's always gone on throughout history, whether it was through religion or science, whatever. Fear is the best way to control someone.
Exactly. And you know, like now we are here in a very nice place, and we talk like everyone can talk with an inverted cross, okay? And we talk about different opinions. And this is for me something very good because we can talk about it with our own place, our own ideas, our own. We are not here to spread, go outside and kill the others.
We're not preaching. We're just having a discourse.
Okay. And in the other thing, when you see in the news, in the television, for example, you can see a lot of normal people, let's say, with good clothes, with Christ pictures, etc. But maybe they are the true evil, because they want you to follow their sick world.
Not only that, but how well do they follow their faith themselves? It's not all about portrayal.
Yes, exactly. And I want to. I imagine a new world because the people said we are against the new world order. I don't think that there is a new world order. It's the same bad situation 1,000 years. The new world order never will come, I think. We will not be alive.
You don't think so?
No. Maybe after the planet Earth will be destroyed by the sun or by, I don't know, by earthquake, by volcanoes, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the people said about new world order and, you know, what new world order? What new things? What is the changes in the planet?
Well, I don't think it's so much the planet. Although actually no, it could be, but I think it's more humanity itself. You know, it's in the sense that you just said. You know, you make people afraid, they become easier to control. What happens if you make everyone in the world afraid? You get to control the world.
Yes, but of course, let's say not to be so. Extremely. Of course, you can see that there are a lot of people with open-minded and have changed their minds that try to change the world. Of course, there are a lot of new men that try for something. Try to respect the mother nature, the mountains, the forest, but they are not the one that leads the world. They are not. I think that the worst thing in the planet are usually the politicians, because I don't know why they never follow the needs of the people, of the simple people. Just always they follow the order of the rich elite.
Of course. Well, if you believe in that, how come your I guess, discounting the idea of the New World Order. I'm just curious as to why you think of the two at the same time.
Let's say I'm not just now we talk in other opinions, you know.
Sure.
I'm not the one, you know, we are simple men. We really can do a lot of things. The only thing we can do, let's say, we can make more spiritual ourselves, let's say, okay. And if it happens in a big horizon, maybe it will be a better reaction for the whole world. Who knows?
So, in conclusion, and then this is something, by the way, that I couldn't agree with more, but I think that by each of us taking risks and digging our own individual paths, spiritually, mentally, physically, by trying to become the best version of ourselves, then perhaps we can actually collectively come together and be better humans.
You are very right. You said the right word, the best version of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like technology, try to make best versions of the technology. Like try to make better mobile phones, better cars. Maybe we have to think about to make a better issue of ourselves. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. This is one of my biggest mottos, is that rather than always looking outside, rather than always trying to see how we can do this to the world, let's make other people think this, let's get that person to agree with me. If they don't agree, then they're the pariah, whatever. Rather than all of that, I just say, why not just focus on working internally? That's where it all starts.
This is the meaning of our conversation. I think so many hours. Even you do it through spiritualism, occultism, even you do it in your own way. It's the same thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is amazing, man. I am enjoying this conversation so much. You know, this is the perfect Iblis Manifestations roundup. Just as we kind of bring things to a little bit more closure, I do really want to hear a little bit more about what you've got going on with Yoth Iria, and if we are going to be getting some new music after that tremendous debut album that you guys put out. I know this is quite the spin-off, but I think we planted plenty of seeds in people's heads to think about. So, if you wouldn't mind elaborating on that.
Yoth Iria is my vision. After many years I was away from music, like a musician, because always I was in this kind of music. And it's time now, in September 24, maybe in August, to have out our new album. Now
Excellent.
We are in the process of making the mastering, mix mastering, and the album of course is recorded. So you have to wait for a new track in June 24. Yoth Iria will be here, let's say, forever. Of course, not forever. As many years, I feel strong and I feel alive.
Fuck yeah. Jim, Dimitri's brother, it's been such a pleasure to speak to you today, man. Any last words for the listeners?
Of course, I'm very honored to be in Iblis Manifestation. Thanks all of you guys that take the time and hear my conversation with Iblis Manifestation. Even agree or not, have a look in my ideas and think for yourself. Metal Magic Freedom.
Fuck yeah. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode. And be sure to support the fuck out of Yoth Iria. See you later.